Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome to Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. I played a little bit of the original Pillars of Eternity several months back, but I never finished the game, but I am looking forward to seeing what changes they've made in this game here, in terms of how things are going to play out in the sequel, and all that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that I won't have to have completed the game to understand everything that's going on, but let's just go ahead and hop right in and see how this goes here. So let's see here. I think I'll keep this on the default settings here. Actually, maybe actually let's go with classic. We can. It looks like we should be able to change this at any time here. So we'll go ahead and start the game. And let's see how this goes.
Aora, a world where mortals live, die, and are reborn through the turning of the wheel. The cycle of reincarnation watched over by the gods, and made possible through pillars of a mystical substance known as Audra. 5 years ago, you traveled from your home to the Deerwood, a nation that had waged war against the incarnated god of light, Aethys, resulting in his destruction. The country suffered from a plague of hollowborn, infants born without souls, that many believed was punishment for killing a god. In an ancient, secluded ruin, you witnessed a secret ritual that inadvertently transformed you into a watcher. One who can see and speak with souls. The ritual also gave you horrible visions, waking nightmares of a past life that threatened your sanity. To put them to rest, you pursued the man who had led the ritual, a seemingly immortal agent of the gods, known as Theos Ix Arcanon. With divine assistance, you confronted and defeated Theos, ending your visions and resolving the Hollowborn crisis. In so doing, you also learned the great secret that Theos had protected. That the ancient empire of Anguith had transformed themselves into gods. Your visions finally put to rest, you retired to the castle of Cadnua, built atop a massive statue of pure Audra, where you ruled in relative peace and prosperity.
So that Watcher stuff, what they're talking about there is I have the ability to basically reach out to a person and kind of touch their soul and see their past.
Made a nice story. You fixing up that old keep? Lifting the curse? Must have told it 100 times. But something got to gnawing at me. Thinking the spirits there weren't really at rest. But maybe the gods weren't finished with us. I used to dream that when my god came back, he would forgive us. Last the trouble with dreams. Sooner or later, we all have to wake up.
And so you wake to a sleepless world, the in-between of life and death. Follow your memories. You have been here before.
So I'm guessing I died then at the end of the game. Alright, doesn't seem to be anything over there. Maybe over here. We seem to just be, just a spirit at this point here. Yeah, now I can see movement happening here.
You have seen past the shroud. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
A watcher sees souls, knows their pasts, and the souls see them back.
A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed.
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked?
So this seems to be flashbacks of what happened.
Real, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
Let the world see. Let them decide what to do.
The wheel has turned again, Watcher. Come.
An aged dwarf shares this strange floating platform with you. His face is creased by so many wrinkles that his features lie buried amid shadowy pockets of skin. Still, the dwarf's well-practiced habits have left telltale tracks of a welcoming rictus across his visage. You can see his smile coming before it blooms, reshaping the dwarf's face from a hanging sack of flesh into something resembling an oddly carved, merry gourd, replete with unhealthy bumps and discolored splotches.
Alright, let's, before we proceed here, I'm noticing that my, my mute button is, triggering, this thing to pop up every now and then. Is there a way for me to change that? I believe what I can do is, let's see. Alright, cancel that. Is there a way to just... Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that gets rid of it. Save changes. Yep, there we go. Alright, let's see. It doesn't look like they have anything to say here. And yeah, this is all mouse-driven in terms of how I'm playing here. There's no WASD in this game, which is typical with most classic RPGs. In terms of my experience with these kind of games, typically I've gone with like, or rather I've been through games like the Shining Force series, but in terms of an actual PC game, aside from the original Pillars of Eternity, which I played, I want to say maybe about 5 or 6 hours of, I really never really got into classic RPGs like this. So we'll see how this goes.
Thank you for joining us, Watcher of Cadnua.
The gaunt woman seated at the table is clad in time-worn black armor that seems too massive for her to move in. A pale, slender neck rises from the gorget, topped by a hollow face. The milky skin stretched across it is delicate and translucent, like parchment that has been scraped clean too many times. She is preoccupied with the arrangement of cards on the table between you. With each movement, her armor squeaks and groans as though bearing an incredible weight. She places a final card, gives a nod of satisfaction, and raises her eyes to meet yours.
Your brush with the divine has drained you of your powers, fractured your memories. Look upon these cards. They represent the courses of your life. You alone know best how they flowed. Arrange them to fit what you remember.
Alright, so we'll examine the cards and choose our legacy. Alright, select which history took place during Pillars of Eternity, or select a Pillars of Eternity endgame save to import. Okay, so this is basically then talking... it's basically... it kind of is expecting me then to have kind of completed things with the first Pillars of Eternity, so hopefully there's at least a little description to go with. Benevolent soul, in Pillars of Eternity, you return the lost Hollowborn souls to the Direwood's children, as you had pledged to Hylia. You were kind and merciful to people you encountered, sympathetic to their pain, and charitable to those who needed help. Alright, in this one, you return the lost Hollowborn souls to the Wheel, as you had pledged to Barath. Most other choices were judicious and balanced, tempered by rational thought and fairness rather than sympathy or emotion. Survival of the fittest. You use the souls of the Hollowborn to strengthen the Direwood, as you had pledged to Galawain. Most other choices were made to strengthen you and your allies while punishing and weakening your enemies. Dark times. You consigned the souls of the Hollowborn to Oblivion, as you had pledged to Rimmergant. You left a wake of physical destruction and spiritual annihilation wherever you went, seeking to bring a final end to all things. Keeper of Secrets. You pledged to consign the souls of the Hollowborn to Oblivion, as Rimmergant requested, but you ultimately gave the souls to Wodisha. You supported maintaining the god's secrets as well as your own. Everything bad. You did everything wrong. You pledged to do the bidding of every god, and then scattered the souls of the Hollowborn to a random location. You got every companion killed. You got the worst outcome for every quest. If there is a mistake you could have made while still resolving the Hollowborn crisis, you made it. Not suggested for new players. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with fair and balanced. That seems more my style.
Does everything appear to be in order?
Yes.
Good. Welcome to the Beyond. I am Bera. One half, anyway.
She points a finger in the direction of the dwarf who led you here. Though the movement is slight, her gauntlet squeaks like a rusty hinge. The dwarf's rictus returns as he nods in the woman's direction.
Tell me, do you remember when we last met?
Unfortunately, I never met you, so I don't remember.
You prayed for my help in reaching Theos, beyond the Court of Penitence, and pledged yourself to me.
Okay.
And though you could have broken your pledge when you defeated Theos at Sun and Shadow, you did not. Admirable.
She delicately places a card on the table. A bell in a tower. Her fingertips slowly drag away from the card, faintly creaking as they retreat across the table.
You had need of the gods once before. Now it seems we have need of you.
Okay.
The being that occupied Odnua's statue beneath your castle was the dead god, Aothus. Of this we are certain. What we do not know is what his intentions are. Though you and he are still
didn't mean to
connected.
double-click there.
He has chosen a body made of living Audra, perfused with the power of thousands of souls, including yours. It should be little difficulty for an experienced watcher to find him.
Is there any reason why you don't just do it yourself?
Taking a physical form in Aora is fraught with peril. Most mortal minds and bodies are incapable of containing divine power. It can lead to problems, as Aothus learned not long ago.
Her armored hand gingerly places a card sideways on the table. It features a man with a burst of light instead of a head.
Let's see. Well, I'd like to find him as much as you would. He destroyed my castle and killed who knows how many people around it.
I know. It is my business to know. 322 in Cadnua and your surrounding lands. Their souls remain in Aethys still. You have the power to save them. Serve me and I will return you to your body. Or don't, and return to the wheel.
Then let's get on with it.
Before you return to Aora as my herald, you must remember who you were, the last whisper of life in death.
For a moment, the sockets of her eyes darken, leaving the pits of a death's head gazing out at you.
When you can picture your own face, the Beyond will lead you back to your own kind, to the world of mortals.
Alright, so it looks like it's time for character creation. So let's set it to a male. Next. Now, what do we have for races? So, the mighty Omoa are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Roatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. Dwarf, by virtue of land covered and number of colonies settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in the Direwood, the Velian republics, and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. Elves are the dominant race in Air Glanfath and the White That Wends, and are extremely common in the Direwood and Edir. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as a commonly isolationist nature. Godlike. The godlike children of the Kith, civilized races, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. Okay. Human is pretty self-explanatory, and then Orlans are the smallest of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-tone skin, and hirsute bodies, Orlan are commonly found in Air Glanfath, the Examital Plains, and parts of the Deerwood. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. So, given the fact that there is going to be a lot of naval, or at least I understand there's going to be like a ship that we're going to be traveling on through a lot of this, I'm going to go with the Omoa. Plus, they have a nice bonus to might here, which should be nice in combat. Alright, so now we've got a choice of island or coastal. So, island Omoa originated in the Deadfire archipelago and have largely remained there over the millennia. While physiologically similar to their coastal cousins, the coloration of island Omoa is starkly different. Warm tones contrasting the coastal's cool blues and green. While not all island Omoa are connected to the native Huana culture of the Deadfire, it is rare to find them in the Eastern Reach, much less the old empires. +2 might. Among the waves, island Omoa are unusually comfortable moving through water, deep sand, mud, and other similar obstacles. Unlike all other races, they are not reduced to waiting when running through such impediments during combat. That could be useful if there's difficult terrain. And then for the coastal ones, viewed by many in the old empires and Eastern Reach as a warlike race, the coastal Almoa are dominantly from the northern nation of Rotai. Though they originated in the Deadfire archipelago thousands of years ago, time and distance have divorced them from their distant Hoana kin. Coastal Almoa are less intimately connected to the sea than island Almoa, and are distinguished by their cool skin tones. Towering physique. Coastal Almoa are renowned for their natural sea legs and sturdy builds. Whether it's due to their long history of seafaring or something innate, all coastal Almoa have resistance to might afflictions. Now that is the staggered, dazed, and stunned afflictions affect the might attribute. These afflictions can be countered by a might inspiration, strong, tenacious, or energized. Okay, so that then would prevent my might attribute from being reduced at all. Okay, let's go with them then. Next. Would you like to make a single or multi-class character? Single-class characters are entirely focused on their chosen class. They gain access to higher level powers more quickly. Multi-class characters can select from powers from 2 classes, but gain access to higher level powers more slowly, and cannot access their class's highest level powers. Multi-class characters are not recommended for new players, so I'm going to go with single class. Now let's see what we've got here. I'm trying to remember what it was I chose the last time in when I played the original. You know what? I typically do play as a defender, so let me just double check this. Defender excels at resisting attacks or being able to take a large amount of punishment in combat. And then for the minor role, strikers are unequaled in their ability to inflict large amounts of damage and crippling afflictions to single targets. And then yeah, so we'll go with fighter. Fighters form the front line of disciplined armies across the Eastern Reach, though they are most commonly found in cultures with an organized martial structure. Fighters can be encountered as wandering mercenaries, bodyguards, and other types of sellswords. The common element that unifies fighters is their heavy focus on endurance and melee defense. Alright. And okay, and so this is a preview of the skill tree. Alright. Or ability tree, rather. Alright, so subclass. Choose to have no subclass and therefore incur neither additional class benefits nor penalties. Black Jacket. Fighters of the Black Jacket Academies pride themselves on being skilled with a wide variety of weapons. Though the original school was founded in the Deerwood, many sister academies have sprung up across the Eastern Reach and old empires. Former students of the Black Jacket often wear black brigandine as a sign of fellowship. So the bonus start with an additional weapon set and weapon proficiency, reduce recovery time penalty when switching weapons. Recovery is the amount of time that a character spends between actions. Most actions will cause a character to enter a brief recovery afterwards, though some may have a shorter or even no recovery time. Armor has a large effect on recovery. Generally, heavier armor inflicts longer recovery penalties. So, this is only... okay, so this is talking about that it's going to take me less time to switch weapons here. But we lose constant recovery. Devoted. The Devoted are dedicated to the pursuit of a single weapon to the exclusion of all others. They're so attuned to the techniques of their chosen arms that other weapons feel bizarre and alien to them. Because of their extreme specialization, Devoted Academies often consist of a single master or a tiny cadre of like-minded disciples. So we may select a single weapon proficiency, increase penetration, which basically allows us to determine how much damage gets through the enemy's armor rating. Increased critical hit damage with the weapon, and accuracy is penalized whenever using a weapon that is not the chosen weapon. Only gain a single proficiency and no proficiencies during level up. And I'm guessing that's going to last through the entire game. And then Unbroken fighters are glaciers of the battlefield, slow-moving, almost indestructible, and dangerous to circumvent. Often underestimated for their lack of mobility, the Unbroken have laid low countless foolhardy opponents on the battlefield. Unbroken academies tend to be somber, serious places, most common in similarly somber, serious nations such as Adir and Redcirrus. So +1 to engagement. Engagement occurs anytime a character attacks an enemy with a melee weapon at close range. As soon as the attacker gets close enough, he or she will engage. When a character is first engaged, he or she will stop moving. The character is free to move around their engager, but moving away will provoke a disengagement attack. If the characters break engagement, there is a limited amount of time before that enemy may re-engage them. Okay, so this is basically talking about in combat stuff. Increased penetration on disengagement attacks, and gains shield mastery, providing a bonus armor rating while wearing a shield. So armor rating value is usually derived from armor, but many creatures have natural armor rating, or can raise it through the use of magic abilities, talents, or other equipment. And basically, armor rating reduces how much damage I would take. Penalty is a lower stride in combat. Stride represents how quickly a character can run in combat, with higher scores covering more ground, and lower reflexes. I think I'm probably going to go with that one, since I'm basically looking for this guy to kind of be the tank of the group. So, Unbroken it is. And then for abilities, we can knock down, which shoves an enemy with enormous force, knocking them prone and causing damage. Or Discipline Barrage, the fighter intensely focuses on their training, gaining the aware inspiration for a short time. Now, what is that? Adds +5 to perception, 50% of grazes converted to hits. And then concentration, each point of concentration that a character possesses will prevent a single interrupt effect from being applied to them. Afterwards, that concentration effect is removed. So, do I want to become more... Do I want to have something that's only going to work for a single target, or something that could potentially last even longer than that? How long is the knockdown? And it grants a bonus accuracy of 10, so that would make it easier to hit a target. You know what? If we're trying to take out a final baddie, it would probably be better to have the knockdown ability. And there's a chance I might be able to get more abilities here. Okay, so now I can put in the remaining points I want to use. So it looks like the ones with the stars are going to be my primary stats here. So Might contributes to damage, healing effectiveness, and fortitude defense. Constitution affects health and fortitude defense. Resolve contributes towards reducing hostile effect durations as well as improving will and deflection defenses. Alright, so how far can I actually put this? Up to 18 it looks like. So that gives him plus 40 health, plus 16 fortitude, and then... let's do kind of a mix here. Because I still want him to be able to attack if a situation happens to come up. Now, we're already taking a hit to reflex based on what we chose as our subspecialty. Intellect, we really don't have to worry about that too much, so I think we can take a point out of that and give that to resolve, and I think that will make a nice build for us. Okay, so where are we from? I don't think we have to really read through all this. This is just where I'm from. Let's just see what we actually get for the bonuses here. So the Living Lands would actually give us a bonus to Might. Roatai would give us a bonus to Constitution, which actually boosts us up to a 19 now. The powerful naval kingdom of Roatai is dominated by coastal Almala and ruled by a Ranga Nui. Currently the most prosperous of the old empires, Roatai has expanded aggressively into the Deadfire archipelago and to secure natural resources that are scarce in their native storm-torn land. Though folk, dwarves, and Orlands can be found in Roatai, most are merchants or remnants of the old kingdoms Roatai conquered when they seized power centuries ago. Legends say that the Roataians came to their lands from the Deadfire archipelago in the wake of a terrible cataclysm, but the details of that event have been lost to time and the imaginations of storytellers. So yeah, this guy's gonna be a tank, 19. And then, what was our job? So, this gives us bonuses to other things here. So, aristocrat, you've lived your life among the nobility. Your days have been marked by lavish meals and extravagant parties. Your conversations peppered with talk of pedigree and bloodlines. Dissident, you've made a name for yourself as a troublemaker. Disrespect for authority and a lack of care regarding the rules are recurring themes in your life. Drifter, you never quite fit in no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place to rest briefly before moving on to the next. You're more comfortable on the road traveling the world. Duelim, I kind of made the same, I had the same thought here, but, yeah, no, I completely agree on that. Hunter. You live for the thrill of the chase, whether for glory or sustenance. You have made your living taking the lives of wild creatures. Laborer, your life has been spent in the study of your craft. You trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and apply your trade. Mercenary, blade in battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your weapon and applying force. So that gives us bonuses. This may be the one I go with here. You've traded goods from all over the world, pairing items with buyers of all kind. Scholar, for you, knowledge is a relentless pursuit. You hoard each kernel of information as though it were precious metal, and each time you don't spend learning is time wasted. And slave, you have never known freedom. Shackles and chains have bound your existence, and someone has told you what to do your entire life. So, it'd be nice to have the athletics as well as survival. Although history could be nice as well. Bluff basically allows us to kind of lie about things and have it succeed sometimes. Actually, athletics, what is this again? Athletics is tiring work. In addition to the hazards of Mortal Kombat adventurers have walls to climb, rivers to cross, and pits to leap over. Once per encounter, characters with athletics can use the second wind ability to recover lost health. A higher athletics score increases the effect of second wind. That sounds exactly what a tank would want. Is there anything else, though, that might give me a bonus? You know what? I'm sure we're going to find friends along the way, so we'll go with Laborer here. Alright, and now weapon proficiency. So, let's see what we've actually got here. We need something that's going to work as... Let's see. Well, we definitely need a shield. And we're going to go with a large shield. Proficiency in a weapon or shield grants access to a modal ability for use with the associated item type. These abilities are situational and may be turned on or off to meet the tactical needs of a battle. There is no penalty for using a weapon without the corresponding proficiency. A character who is not proficient in a weapon only loses access to the associated modal ability. So the wall, taking careful position behind the large shield, significantly reduces incoming ranged weapon damage as well as damage from attacks that target reflex. While active, you are unable to move. Now, in that particular case, since we took a penalty to reflex, this would actually be a good thing for me to take then. Let's see here. Yeah, so we'll take the wall, and then we're gonna need some kind of one-handed weapon, because we can't take a two-handed weapon with this build. So, half-sword, fight in close quarters style, using your blade to penetrate armor more effectively at the cost of a lower deflection. Piercing thrust. I'm just trying to look through these real quick here. Fight defensively with your spear. I don't know if that would work with a shield, though. By swinging a saber with great arcing strikes, gain penetration at cost of recovery time. Needle strike. Interfering strikes hook and slash wildly with your attacks, interfering with your enemy's ability to focus their aim at the cost of damage. Or rending smash, the character swings the mace with massive force, damaging the target's armor at the cost of recovery time. You know what? I think that would work well with the wall shield here. So let's go with the half sword. Okay, and now we just need to pick what our avatar portrait is going to be. Looks like we actually got a good bunch of them here. But I think this one would probably match the best here. Now, what can we actually change here? So, okay, that's changing the color of the clothing. Down there. I think I'm fine with the hair. You know what? Let's make him bald. Why not? And in terms of the face, let's go with that one.
I'll go on ahead. Ready when you... After him! Yeah!
I'm actually having a little trouble hearing the voices here because of how loud the music is. I'm gonna have to adjust that.
Onward! Kill them all! Show them how it's done! Take them down!
Steady does it. Huh?
No prisoners!
Nice and slow.
I think we can go with this one, though. And now, as for a pose... I think we'll just go with average on that one. Alright, and why not? Brightstar. Alright, and so that is basically my character sheet here. So, let's hit next.
Go forth now, Watcher, as my herald. Know that I do not give you this title lightly. When the time comes, you will have the power to reveal the souls that cling to you. To open the gateway from the in-between to the waking world. Find Aethys. Learn his plans. When I have cause to talk to you, I will summon you.
With a quick gesture of her hand, you feel a sharp pain in what would be your chest. The pain continues, intruding deeper into your soul. Looking down, you see a small lump of darkness roiling within you. The darkness lingers there, but the pain abates and fades entirely within the span of a few seconds.
A chime. Do not fear, Herald. It will not harm you unless you choose to cross me. I trust it will not come to that.
Her gauntleted hand gestures to the dwarf, hovering nearby. The dwarf nods, contorts his face with his odd smile, and gestures to a new door.
Alright, let's see if we can fix that, that audio here now. Yeah, so music. Turn that down, turn the effects down. Now we should have a better time hearing everybody. Alright, so what do we have here? Seems we've woken up then.
The return to your body feels like waking after a fitful drunken sleep. The rocking of the ship sends pain jolting through your limbs. Crashing waves hammer inside your skull. Adair watches over your body with a glazed look, taking long, even tokes from his pipe. At the first movement of your chest, he starts. His gasp, mid-puff, sends him coughing and straining for breath.
Alright, what is this icon here? This is a result of choices you made in Pillars of Eternity.
No, there's no way. You're awake. What are you doing awake? How are you feeling?
Who are you?
Me? You don't remember?
Adair points at his face, which he seems to be arranging into his most recognizable expression. Receiving no response, he shrugs.
I'm the captain of this boat, and I was real big back in Deerwood. Had this keep called Cadnua. I was famous. And I was what you'd call a watcher. I'd go around talking to dead folks and creeping out just about everyone who saw.
He holds up his hands with fingers curled to mimic claws.
You're just some farmer. Likes to follow me around. Take most of the beating for me when we get attacked. Don't worry, it'll all come back.
You know what? Really, I thought it was the other way around.
Well, maybe it was you who was going around being a creepy watcher. I get mixed up easily. But that fortress was mine. I remember that. Anyway, you didn't answer my question. How you feeling?
Weak, but I'm sure it will pass.
Sure. You've been out a long time.
I hate to cast a pall over your recovery, but I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
The voice echoes from inside the bust. The remains of the steward of Cad Nua.
Cad Nua has been destroyed. Aethys possessed the statue of Maros Nua and rose from the ground, consuming the souls of all nearby. It is only by the exceptional strength of your soul that you survived. And even then, just barely. The further Aethys withdrew, the weaker you became. We chartered this ship and followed him to the Deadfire archipelago. I know not how, but it seems he has retained a piece of your soul, and proximity to it has brought you back.
Misfortunes brewing topside. Magrants fires the captain stirs.
An older man with ale-sour breath rubs his bloodshot eyes and stares at you.
Engrim, the smell of drink on your breath could wake the very dead. Now what's this about?
Pirates. They're demanding parley with you, Captain.
I know this is asking a lot, but you better arm yourself and get on deck. Should be some gear in there.
He indicates a nearby wardrobe.
Alright, let's see here. So over here, I'm guessing. Yep.
Alright, now make some use of it.
Okay, so equipping items. If you click on an item in your inventory, to pick it up, you can place it in any highlighted slot to equip it. You can also double-click items to automatically equip them. Alright, so weapon into there. And shield. Shield into there. And then what is this? I guess we can put that into our quick items. Yeah, and that has a higher rating there. Okay.
The pirates of Deadfire are notorious. I suggest you deal with them quickly.
Alright, let's move.
Well, what have we here? A little sloop? Lost and alone in the storm?
Guess there's no voiceover here. A surly, brutish-looking captain stands stiff-backed before his crew. He scowls as he assesses you, his hair whipping about his ears in the wind.
I'll be taking your ship now, if you don't mind. And especially if you do.
Well, at least he asked.
I am a gentleman of fortune. Give her up easy, and I'll see you get a swift death. It'll be bloody and agonizing, sure. But at least it'll be quick.
Alright, so we got several options here. I don't have any quarrel with you. Why do you want my ship? Pirates? The storm's pretty loud. Did you say you're surrendering? How strange. I'm gonna mount your skull in my cabin. Fire all cannons, aim at the mouthy one. Yeah, that sounds like we gotta do here.
You're getting it.
He spits over the side of the deck.
Listen up, mates.
He cracks his neck as he addresses his crew.
I'm off to spear me a bigger fish. One with sharper teeth like. I'm trusting you lot not to cock this up. Don't damage the sloop when you take it. Play with the crew if you'd like, but don't bring me any prisoners. None that are alive.
You had bandwidth.
Alright. Okay, so, when it comes to most CRPGs, they have a way of pausing themselves during combat, and that's initiated either automatically or, I believe it's by hitting the spacebar? Yeah. What we need to do is we basically just need to engage these guys in combat here. It looks like I'm already targeting one target. Let's get this going.
Defend the ship!
Last target is up here, it looks like.
Storm's picking up! Take cover!
Okay, you've defeated the pirates, but you're not out of trouble yet. The storm picks up, lashing your ship and driving you dangerously close to a rocky shore. The Defiant's crew hurries to reduce sail and batten down the hatches. I believe this Defiance is my ship? The Defiant is the ship purchased with the last of Caed Nua's riches. It has borne you from the eastern reach to the Deadfire archipelago. They work quickly, but the ship is still listing heavily. Just then, a loose crate tumbles toward you, gathering speed on the rain-slicked deck. It misses you, but knocks Chitupek, one of your deckhands, off his feet. The Defiant heaves. Chitupek pitches over the side. He grabs onto the rail, but his fingers are slipping. He cries out for help. Meanwhile, the runaway crate totters on the edge of the deck, ready to plunge overboard. You recognize the symbol on the front and realize it likely contains the salvage from Caed Nua, your keep. So Caed Nua was a Deerwooden castle built over the ruins of the endless path of Od Nua. Considered cursed, few ventured into its halls and even fewer made any effort to hold the castle or the lands around it. You became the de facto lord of the castle after defeating its previous master, the Watcher called Merwold. As the Watcher of Caed Nua, you ruled the stronghold until it was destroyed by Aelthas. The god of light occupied the Adra body of Maros Nua beneath the castle and pulled himself out of the ground, destroying it in the process. You know what, we can probably get another deckhand. Looking kind of older as well. Save the crate. You seize the crate just as it's about to tip into the roiling sea. It's heavy, but you manage to heave it back from the edge. As it thumps onto deck, you hear a fading scream and a splash. Chitupek is gone. There is no sign of him in the churning waves below. Meanwhile, the storm has nearly driven you ashore. A flash of lightning reveals a treacherous coastline and Aelthas striding into the distance. The lookout barely has time to shout a warning before the Defiant runs aground. The impact hurls you from the deck and into a froth of waves, bodies, and splintering debris. You struggle toward the beach just ahead, even as the surf tugs you towards the open sea. You kick and paddle with all your might until at last you feel sand between your fingers. Pulling yourself ashore, you collapse. Okay. So we need to find a way to repair our ship.
You've been getting a lot of sleep so far on this trip. I'd have woke you, but you look so peaceful with your face in the sand.
Adir runs his fingers through his hair and removes a strand of seaweed he finds lodged there. He examines it closely and then tosses it onto the sand.
If you're worried about the ship, you can stop worrying. It's wrecked right over there.
He points out the Defiant, despite it being difficult to miss from your vantage point.
So far, it's just you and me and the chair lady over there.
Adir nods towards something further up the beach.
It's a relief to see you awake, my lord. I worried you were in for another long sleep.
Your steward appears to be lodged between some rocks. Despite this, her tone is warmly cheerful. Where are we?
Oh no, but it's real pretty.
Difficult to say for certain. The Deadfire is spotted with islands, some quite small. The good news is that if the storm hasn't spun us round entirely, I'd say we're in charted waters. I believe the Valian Trading Company operates in the region.
Okay, so they are an outward-looking mercantile order from the Valian Republics. The 30,000 employees are tasked with delivering profit on the homeland's investment. In the Deadfire, this means refining and exporting luminous Adra in enormous quantities.
Hence that little visit from that wretched pirate captain.
Any help here, Barath? There is no reply for calling of gulls and constant crash of water upon the shore.
I'd shout for Aethys, but I'm worried he'd hear me and come over.
Can we patch up the ship?
I'm certain you could, given enough time and supplies. But that wouldn't help you push the Defiant out to sea again. You'll need a crew. Andra claimed her fair share last night.
Andra is goddess of the oceans, forgotten things, lost, relentlessness, and mourning, said to have fallen in love with the moon, and to have tried to draw it near, with catastrophic consequences. People bring tokens to her temple of things they wish to forget, and her clergy sees the tokens cast into the sea.
Let's see about the other survivors. And somehow we gotta get the ship repaired. I don't want to be paddling out of here on a salvage raft.
For now, I'd say your best bet is to find some sign of civilization. If nothing else, we may be able to hire on a shipwright. My lord, if it is not too taxing, could you explain how it came to pass that you were returned to us?
Squint dramatically while looking out at the ocean. I've returned as the Herald of Barath. I'm on a special mission to find Aethys and learn what his plans are.
Sure. I suppose if any mission could be considered special, it'd have to be this one.
A perilous endeavor indeed. Castle or no castle, you are still my lord, and I will aid you to the best of my ability.
Well, I suppose we better get a move on.
Alright, let's go. Alright, let's take a quick look at this quest journal here. As you receive quests, your journal will update with relevant information. If you're ever stuck, open it to review your notes by pressing the, parchment button in the lower center of the screen or the J key. Some of the quests you receive may be challenging until your character has achieved a higher level. A quest that is beyond your character's current level will be marked in your journal with 1, 2, or 3 skulls. 1 for every level. If a quest is more than 3 levels above your character's current level, then the skulls will appear red. Okay, so... So, Adir... Let's have him as a rogue, since we're already a fighter. Or at least a melee combat class. And this, it should allow him to detect traps and such, I think. Alright, let's see what we managed to save here. So, Killer's Gloves gives us Sure Strike, 10% crit damage with weapons. That's nice. Oil of Allure. And a Thief's Putty. This clay-like unguent smells of lilac and chalk. When applied to the wrists and hands, it both steadies and quickens the body and mind, making subtle or delicate tasks simpler. Though there exists myriad legitimate uses for this concoction, its associated with the criminal element tarnishes its reputation across Aora. Alright. And let's see who else we have here. So, just a dead body here. They've got a wand, potion of minor healing, and some gold, it appears. And I think I saw, yeah, there's another dead body over here.
Help! Somebody!
And they have a dagger. Alright, let's see. So for him, we need to give him... Actually, it looks like he's already equipped with what he needs. So in that case... Let's do the killer's gloves here. And... Can't really use a wand, but I could at least use a potion.
Yeah?
Let's see what we got here. Spire Sponge. You have found an ingredient. Ingredients can be used to enchant unique weapons, armors, and shields, as well as to craft foods, scrolls, potions, and other items. Selecting characters. To select a party member, click on their selection circle, their portrait, or press the number button that corresponds to their position in the party, starting with 1 at the left. To select multiple party members, click and hold anywhere on the screen, and drag the marquee over the circles of the party members you'd like to include. To select the entire party, press the... not sure what button that is in the lower center of the screen, or the backspace key. Okay. Alright, let's check this out. The Defiant is looking far worse for wear after its unexpected landfall. The hull has splintered into several pieces along the keel, while the tattered sails stand evidence of your battle with the pirates. The deck of the Defiant is well out of reach from here. The ship groans like a beached whale each time the waves roll in, but it doesn't seem to be listing further. You may be able to climb up. So this... Athletics, scale the hull by hand. And success! You climb nimbly up the sides of the ship and reach the top without so much as breaking a sweat. Adir is not far behind, pulling himself up and over the railing beside you. Okay.
Watcher, is that you?
The ghostly figure turns toward you, voice rising eagerly.
It is strange. I see nothing. A gray nothing. What happened? I remember the ship listing under our feet. Something struck me.
Who are you, Spirit?
I am Chitupek. I was one of your crew. Do you not know me? We sailed from Deerwood to restore you. I fear I cannot help you any longer. I thought the end would be different. You are a Watcher. You would have been our captain. Tell me, where am I to go?
You're welcome to stick around until you figure that out.
Thank you, Watcher. I will stay with you a time. Until my path is clear.
Still seeing ghosts, huh? I suppose you're stuck with that.
Alright, so what is this person's deal?
You're looking better, Casita. That, or I'm worse off than I thought.
The sheen of sweat on her brow and the wand cast to her features belies Irina's casual greeting.
It's my leg, Matiko. It hurts even worse than it looks.
Irina's leg bears a bloody gouge along the length of her shin, and the swelling around her knee suggests a nasty break. Alright, so... Looks like we meet this one. Hang on, I'll carry you back down.
Quite romantic, Casita. I'll try not to hold it against you if you drop me.
Alright, now is there anything else that we can get from the ship here? Let's climb up. Alright, doesn't actually seem to be anything else on the ship that we can actually grab here.
I've got it. On it.
Okay, here we've got rope and grappling hook, and some lockpicks.
I've got it.
Let's see, fire kelp, and water.
Will do.
Pork.
Right.
Hope the rest of those sodden bastards made it.
Alright, more copper, and some ale.
I've got it.
And a small shield. Okay. But we've already got a large shield on. And here we got a sword. And some more potions. Spark crackers. Bombs. Okay.
There must be other survivors out there.
Is that you?
Eld Engrim appears to be in sound condition, though his waxed jacket is soaked through. He appraises you with bleary-eyed amusement.
You woke just in time for the fun. Fighting off motherless raiders one moment, flung into the freezing depths of Ondra's bosom the next.
Engrim's eye twitches as he flashes a smile notable for its extraordinary absence of teeth.
Aye. Magran learns us poor bastards that a little excitement's good for the heart.
Even the gods can't break me, Engrim.
Some others might think that blasphemy. But when Magran hears it, Captain, oh, she knows you're filled with a fire.
His eyes grow wide in excitement.
Can we go back on the ship now?
Vila rocks back and forth on her feet, watching you both. Any idea where I should start?
I heard some hollering by the Defiant. Worth spying on, just in case someone went cast from the deck onto the strand.
Alright, I'll go see if I can find anyone else.
I'll start a fire. A right proper fire to thank Magran for all her trials.
He nods enthusiastically, his eye twitching.
I'll boil up some water. We'll have a spy at that leg of yours.
Should have seen me with that barrel, Engrim. I showed it who's boss.
Hey, fancy seeing you here.
The spirit's voice warps and shifts, muted as if by a great distance. Even so, he grins brightly at you.
I can't see much of anything, really, apart from you. Just endless gray. What happened?
The ship ran aground in the storm. You died.
Storm? That's strange. You'd think a man would recall a storm. It's like someone cut away a part of my memory. There's just this big black hole. It's weird. I thought death would be different. Big light and so on. But I don't see anything at all. Just you.
Barath charged me with guiding souls to the afterlife, so I suppose you're my responsibility now.
Oh. Suppose that sounds nice enough. I'll follow you then, shall I?
If you must. The spirit falls into step behind you, radiating cheer. Alright, dispositions. So, you have gained a reputation and a disposition. Dispositions represent how people perceive your personality throughout the world. Even seemingly nasty reputations will be favored by some people, and benign reputations sometimes bring out the worst in certain people. No disposition is inherently good or bad in Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. To see icons for the effects of dialogue decisions on disposition, enable the Show Personality Reputation option in difficulty settings. Alright, okay. So it looks like we've got a boar over here. Let's make sure we got everybody selected. Let's go for it. There we go. And we got ourselves some pork. Alright, so how do we use the pork on the fire?
Good news, Captain. I found some supplies must have washed ashore. Even better. I've located some spirits. The mundane kind, I mean. Nothing that requires your talents, Watcher.
His eyes twitch and twinkle in delight. Do you know anything about this island?
Kethriv here. I ken that much. Means we're a sight better off than we could be. Course, it's surely pirate territory. They've a number of bolt holes out this way. I'd nae be surprised if that cave up north is one of them. Could be they lie in wait for us even as we speak.
His twinkle in his eye belies his foreboding tone. So, what do you think we should do now?
Quit standing here, for one. Worth having a spy about this place. It may be there's more of us who've survived Magran's trial. There is a cave to the north. Could be some of our fellows sought shelter there. If all you find is cold corpses, we can say a prayer for their departed souls and liberate them of their mortal possessions.
Alright then, farewell. So, a cave to the north.
Didn't think death would be so boring.
Alright, are we able to get around to there? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, Sea Cave. So press the masked character button in the lower left, in the lower center of the screen, or use the Alt key to have the selected characters enter or exit stealth.
Let's take a look. I guess we're not the first to head this way.
Okay, it looks like we've got a cave beetle over here.
Let's go.
Let's see if we can get a sneak on it. Okay. Stealth detection. When a character in stealth enters the hearing radius or vision cone of a bystander, the bystander will start to detect them. The rate of detection is determined by the character's stealth skill and the level of the bystander. And it is faster in the vision cone than in the hearing radius. You can hover your cursor over any character while in stealth to see their hearing radius and vision cone. Some items, such as noisemakers, can be used to distract and move bystanders while you explore in stealth. In this particular case, we are just going to go into combat. There we go.
Enemies.
Alright, we got a skeleton over here. With a saber and a medium shield.
On it. Will do. Enemies.
Take him down.
Alright, let's see what loot we got.
I've got it.
Bunch of bones and a shield.
I'll get it open.
Alright, for this, let's select him and see if they can pick this thing.
You're caught. All done.
Alright. Valiant frock coat. Potion and some gold. Anything else up here? Looks like that's it. Alright, let's move on.
I got it. Yeah? Keeping an eye out.
On it.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on here. With the, with what we just found. Alright, for right now, we're just leaving combat as it is.
Not even close. Take him down.
Sure.
Come on.
Let's go.
I wonder if there's a way to speed up the combat a little bit.
What's a metal killing machine doing out here by himself in a cave anyway? Collecting. spots.
I've got
That's gonna be hard to clean. That art looks about as good as it smells at this point.
Damned pirates! Andra, take your scabrous souls for fish food.
Bayadol! Still alive and calling everybody scabrous, I see. Well, now we got a bosun. Just need a boat.
Adair! And I see that corpse we've been carting around is looking a slight more sprightly. Good to see the two of you, but mind your step. I've got myself in a spot of trouble. Been trying to find a way past without losing a leg or getting a face full of poison.
Let's see if we can set off the traps prematurely with a few heavy stones. You wreak havoc upon the traps to the tune of snapping metal teeth and clattering darts. When the cacophony is ended, Bedul peers out from between his fingers and gives you a broad grin.
Clever, that. Oh, it's a good thing none of them were of the exploding variety. Eld Ingram would have gotten a kick out of that, I bet. It's just bats and stinking corpses in this cave. Find anyone else?
We got a campfire going on the beach.
Then I'll head that way myself. See you on the beach, Captain.
Alright, is this a door? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, there's a trap detected there. And the trap is disarmed.
What do you need? Uh-huh.
Will do.
Alright, there is another trap there. Let's see if they can, Oh, actually, we got the trap that time, I think. Okay, so, breastplate. Gives me about the same armor. They're just different resistances. And then... translated as Andra's Tooth, these are large Baroque teardrop-shaped pearls, most commonly found and traded by Omoa. Alright, let's grab those.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so M brings up the map.
Enemies.
Okay, there's a skeleton over there. That was a simple fight.
Will do.
Hats come in many different shapes, sizes, and a wide variety of color. Deerwoodans are known for their modest, rustic hats, while Valians are associated with broad-brimmed hats featuring a variety of exotic plumes. Huh. Alright.
Looks like.
Alright, and there is a sea bat there. Bestiary. Defeating creatures will progressively unlock their entries in the bestiary. As you unlock more information in the bestiary, you will be rewarded more experience.
I've got it.
Aquamarine and a Fang. And we just leveled up. So your character portrait has earned enough experience to advance the level. Click the plus icon on their portrait to level them up.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have a choice of active skills or passive skills. But we don't necessarily have to put anything in right now. Is there a way to get to the ability selection? No, actually it looks like it does force me to put this in then. So in that case... let's do a point into diplomacy then. Oh, actually we have one of each now that I look. Okay, then in that case, one more into athletics. Okay, now we can start heading down the skill tree here. So fast runner. Arms bearer gains an additional weapon set. Monastic unarmed training gains scaling effectiveness in unarmed attacks, though not as effective as monk's unarmed attacks. Benefit from increased accuracy, damage penetration as you gain levels. Knockdown, we already have that one. And then Discipline Barrage is the other thing that we didn't take before. Okay. Okay, next. Now, how do I actually... oh, what's this empower? You can now empower your abilities or yourself. Once per fight, you can use empower on an active ability to make it much stronger. Alternatively, you can use empower on yourself to replenish a portion of your ability resources. Okay. So... the question is, how do I actually set abilities in the first place here? Journal, character, inventory, options, ship management, map.
Right.
Alright, we'll have to figure that out later.
Huh? On it.
Okay, is this taking us back to the entrance? The waters here glow an eerie blue, and the cave glistens with reflected light. You can just make out an opening in the cavern wall to the northwest, where the water flows onward. The tunnel seems to extend a short distance before turning sharply, but you cannot see where it leads. Let's send someone to scout ahead for air pockets. And that would be myself. You take a deep breath and step down into the water. The water is cool but not uncomfortably so, and you swim forward into the tunnel. Alright. Your powerful strokes propel you along swiftly, and you find a few air pockets within comfortable reach of your starting point. You're certain you can make it through the tunnel without much trouble. Let's swim through. Air pockets provide a much-needed reprieve as you make your way through the cramped waterway. You make short work of the journey. You come up into what appears to be another smaller cavern, where sunlight streams in from an opening in the stone. Alright. Okay, and that sends us over to here now. Alright, and... okay, got it. So, the Lariel's Rest. Yeah, I think this is the place I tried to get to before.
Told him not to bring that thing in there. Didn't like the look of it one bit. But no one daren't speak poor of his precious animancy tech.
The ghostly figure paces the length of the small outcropping with quick, deliberate steps, muttering to herself all the while. Her long cape flaps with a wind that blows from the in-between. And that is where we started our adventure from.
Special gift from his contact, he says. Now it's acting all weird. Gives me the damn creeps. You feel it too, right? Like it's looking straight through you?
She turns piercing purple eyes on you. She shakes her head and resumes her pacing.
Came out here to get away. Couldn't stand it staring at me anymore. Then... oh, my memory's fuzzy. Anyway, you want a Benwifts? Haven't seen you for, but he's been bringing all sort of new folks on lately. Can't hardly keep track.
Sneering little jerk with designs on my ship? Ha! No.
I'd say that's a damn shame, but you seem to be getting along well enough on your own. Benny's crew, I swear, we get up to some right nonsense. Most fun I've ever had on a boat, except for all the hangovers. You ever been hungover at sea? I don't recommend it, no sir. Look, maybe we should stick together. Feels right, you know? What with you being the only other thing around and all. I can give you a hand with, spirity stuff.
Stay with me. I'll find a way to return you to the wheel.
I tell you, mate, I'd take anything over this endless grey. Even Remagon's frosty ass crack.
The spirit tries to give you a friendly pat on the shoulder, but her hand passes right through you. Unperturbed, she grins and walks along behind you. Alright, and so here we've got a pistol, another potion, stun bomb, and 84 copper. A foul, briny stench rises from the sodden crates, their contents rotten. Alright, looks like that's all there is here. The pool is still quiet. Having made the arduous swim once, you are fairly confident you can find your way back. Let's swim through. Alrighty. So there aren't many other places to check inside of here. We're basically done, in fact.
Irena's in good order. I spied the leg. Few days rest and she'll be up in the rigging again. Thank Magron.
Have you seen any other survivors?
Not a one. We've come away from this one limping, Captain. But we live to see the next battle through.
Alright, so he's not saying anything new then.
Theodore said you had to bail him out of trouble. Diverus? Was he crying? You can tell me.
Oh, quiet. You were under a damned barrel. What a mess. We'll be needing help getting the Defiant off the ground.
Do you know anything about this place?
We got turned around in that storm. Hard to be sure just where we are.
And what do we do
Not
now?
much chance of us moving the ship on our own, but we're in charted waters. There's bound to be a town nearby.
Alright, so how do we gather everybody? I guess it's just the two of us then. This seems to be the only way out of here. Clicking on the world map will have your party navigate to the selected locations. To toggle on/off the camera automatically following the party, click the follow camera on option in the bottom right. Alright, so it looks like there's a little encampment over here. Well, I guess that was just some ale then. Alright, what is this Illinet's Fork? In the distance you see a simple wagon. The angle at which it rests on the road, one side jutting above the other, suggests that it has been damaged or disabled. Even from your vantage you can make out kith milling around it. Let's sneak closer to observe. As you near the cart, you can make out a group of Redesiran pilgrims in rough-spun linens and cottons. A single draft horse stamps at the ground impatiently, as two of the pilgrims argue over the front right wheel, which seems hopelessly stuck in the mud. Let's approach openly, see if we can help. One of the pilgrims notices you. Her step back draws the attention of the others, and a man in well-worn gambeson steps forward. The weight of deep concern hangs on his face. Did the dreams bring you here as well? The other pilgrims look to you with a mix of apprehension and hope. I'm following Aelthus. The older pilgrim's mouth opens in amazement. You hear a gasp from another. They look to each other, excitement in their eyes. Praise him, the old man cries out. We are not alone. We had the dreams too. We saw the 3 stars sailing through the sky, piercing the black of a storm cloud. Figured it must be him, Aelthus, calling to us, so we came here to the place we saw in our dreams. The pilgrims look around, matching their sleeping memory to the present. We saw a giant pass with 3 stars on his brow, but... He sighs and gestures to the wagon stuck in the mud. Sad to say we could not follow him. Wheel stuck as stuck gets. None of us are strong enough to lift that corner up to get something under it. More than one of us tries, and we just get in each other's way. The other pilgrims nod and stretch, suddenly remembering their aching bodies. So... let's inspect the wagon. Let me take a look. A brief inspection reveals the wagon is undamaged, but the wheel is stuck fast in the mud. We have some wood, the old man says as he gestures to the back of the wagon. If we can get the wheel up, we can slide that beneath it. Inside the wagon you see several planks of wood. A small box of valuables sits on the side. One of the younger Dawnstars looks at you, eyes wide. Reckon you can lift it? Let's attempt to lift the corner of the wagon. You square yourself to the wagon's corner, squat deep, and rest the wheel from the mud with a grunt. A young Dawnstar stands in shock for a moment, but reacts in time to thrust a thick board beneath the wheel. It takes the better part of an hour to lay down a safe path for the wagon to roll free of the mud. You and the Dawnstars you've roped into your work glisten with sweat, but they laugh happily and sing songs of praise for Aelthus. So, 2 hours have passed because of that. Smiling, their leader presses a small pouch of coins into your hand. We appreciate the help. Without you, who knows how long we would have been stranded out here. They begin to prepare their wagons as you take your leave. So we gained 15 silver pfennig. The item was put into our stash. The old man calls out to you as you go. Take care of yourself and your soul, traveler. Whether you came for Aethys or not, we know in our hearts that he has come for us. Alright. So the question now is, which way? Looks like there is a port over there. Can't see anything in that direction. Let's head for the port. Alrighty.
Better see what that crowd's about.
What if the giant comes this way?
Please, everyone stay calm.
The man at the center of attention appears to be fielding inquiries about from both the gaggle of townsfolk gathered around the platform and a rather severe-looking Almal woman standing just beside him.
Please, everyone remain calm. I assure you I will do everything in my power to get you the answers you need. Our friends among the Huana
have offered you hospitality and safety from the storms.
The Almal woman folds her arms.
Yes, yes. I think we are all keenly aware of the debt of gratitude we owe to the...
I have personally seen to the safety of your homes. Now you will do the same for our families.
What about our families?
What about the ships? How are we supposed to feed ourselves?
If everyone would...
As Clario's gaze sweeps across the crowd, it falls upon you, where it remains. A few more heads turn to see what has caught the governor's attention.
It's one of the pirates!
At this alarmed cry, the whole crowd turns to regard you. A startled, expectant hush falls upon the gathered throng. I'm not a pirate.
Everyone stay calm. I think it's clear our guest is nothing of the sort. 2 of my guards reported a ship flying deer wooden colors, fallen prey to a private vessel. That would be your ship, I assume.
The crowd quiets somewhat at that, though you still find yourself the targets of a few glares.
That would make him lucky. Your own vessels do not usually fare so well.
The woman regards you with bland curiosity.
Quite.
I just need some repairs, and I'll be on my way.
Per Complanca, everyone, forgive me. I believe this matter requires my attention. You have my word that I will keep you apprised of any changes.
So, per Complanca, a Valian term meaning literally for mercy, or for little mercy, which is taken as, come on now.
Especially you, Mr. Ikawa.
Do not flatter me with Valian titles. You are distracted with your newcomer and wish me gone. But I will not go far, Governor Clario.
Grande. As for you, stranger, let us speak at my estate. We'll discuss your predicament.
Alright, a Valian expression of approval that it roughly translates to brave or defiant.
What marvelous carvings!
Oh, yes. This one is many centuries old. Blessed by Ngati herself.
Magnificent!
Alright, looks like we've arrived. Now where did... Oh, there he is.
Ah, yes, there you are. As governor and under the auspices of the Valian Trading Company, please allow me to officially welcome you to Port March.
He spreads his hand as a subdued flourish. Or in a subdued flourish.
Apologies for that little drama outside. These are confusing times, and people often react poorly to uncertainty. Between the storm, the pirates, and the, well, certain strange events, we are all a little on edge.
He spreads his hands in an apologetic gesture. Strange events?
A few, well, quite a few people here in Port Marge claim to have seen a giant of some kind during the storm.
Clario winces.
I would call it a flight of fancy, but unless something has tainted every well in the region, I do not think it can be ignored. But then, the Deadfire is a land full of such things. You must have heard the stories.
A giant? Where did it go?
Why, I haven't the slightest idea. Wherever giants go, deep beneath the waves, with luck. Now, to the matter of your ship. You're stranded, are you? It was a rough landing by all reports. Unfortunately, our own ships are in no condition to sail. We've had dealings with the pirates ourselves. They've taken their share of supply ships. The storm saw to those berthed in the harbor. All that said, I believe I may have a solution, provided you're willing to help me in turn.
I'd be happy to help in any way I can.
Marvelous. You've washed ashore like a sign from the gods themselves. I have the guards on the lookout for pirate vessels looking to take advantage of whatever damage the storm caused. We've cannons enough to see them off, but I need every man ready to use them. There is a site of some considerable value elsewhere on the island. A value to the trading company, you understand. In point of fact, it's the very reason any of us are here. You're familiar with the luminous Adra trade?
What's luminous Adra?
A mineral of sorts. I'm afraid my interests lie in the economic implications. As I understand it, luminous Adra holds concentrated essence, and it is only found right here in the Deadfire archipelago.
Now, if I remember correctly, we found some of that in the cave a little while ago.
It's also quite valuable. When refined, it sells for considerable sums. The trading company has invested a lot of time and money into locating sites suitable for mining and processing.
And how does one go about refining Adra?
How indeed? That, I'm afraid, will remain a trade secret. We, and I hope you understand that these matters require some discretion, have one such outpost on the other side of the island. A successful venture, up until very recently. We sought to improve the refinement process. To that end, we hired some of the brightest minds in the field of animancy and brought them out here to lend their expertise.
Alright. Animancy is the science of soul manipulation, a field both controversial and relatively new, banned in some nations like Adir, but permitted in other countries like Deerwood and the Valian republics.
And then one evening, a storm rolls in out of nowhere, and my scouts begin to report that a giant has marched its way across the island towards my dig site. What am I to make of that? We haven't heard from Mestre Odorisi since, nor any of his assistants, or the workers. I must know what has happened. If Odorisi, if his work is lost, then everything that we have worked for is at risk. Which is where you come in. You need a ship, I need information. See to this for me, and I'll set half the town to work. We'll patch up your ship, and you'll be free to go on your way.
Do you have any idea what might have happened?
The Huana storm speakers should have kept the worst of the weather at bay. I can't imagine what else might have happened. There are wild beasts on the island, but they wouldn't have attacked an active dig site.
And if I find this Orderici...
Why, take his report on the situation and remind him that he's under certain contractual obligations. And relay my deep relief at his good health, of course.
I can do that.
Then we are agreed. I will assign men to keep watch over your ship. You will find the dig site on the eastern side of the island. I'll mark it on your map here. One more thing. If you should recover Odorisi's notes, know that they would be of great value to me.
Alright, so with that, we now have a quest to basically find this research and to bring it back here to the governor, and doing so will allow us to get our ship patched up. We're going to take a look at that on the next episode. If you've enjoyed today's content, please do make sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever I do go live or whenever I do put out new video content. I also have a Discord, link to that is in the description below. And once again, thank you for joining me today. This is Prince Brightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.